Sanctuary, Court Services, Part 2, compiled by Shirley Jean Street and read by Wayne T. Street. As the one outside the court, in order to behold the glories of the tabernacle, had to look above the court, so the one who by faith beholds the beauties of the heavenly sanctuary must lift his thoughts above the things of this earth and center them upon heavenly things. There were two principal articles of furniture in the court, the laver and the altar of burnt offering. The altar was overlaid with brass. The laver and all the vessels of the court that were used in the services connected with the altar were of brass. The great brazen altar was placed between the sanctuary and the gate, but nearer the gate than the sanctuary. Exodus 40, verses 6 and 7. No part of the sanctuary or of the court was made according to the plans of men, but every part was fashioned after the divine model. When the Lord had given Moses the directions in regard to making the brazen altar, he added, "As it was shown to you in the mount, so shall they make it." Exodus 27, verse 8. The altar was a hollow box, 5 cubits square and 3 cubits high, made of boards of acacia wood. There was a horn of the same wood on each corner. A network of brass in the center held the fire and gave draught for it, and allowed the ashes to fall beneath. The entire altar with the horns was all overlaid with brass. Exodus 27, verses 1 to 8. It was an altar most holy. Whatsoever touches the altar shall be holy, was the divine decree. Exodus 29, verse 37. Exodus 29, verse 37. It was because of this, no doubt, that Adonijah and Joab fled and caught hold of the horns of the altar when they feared death at the hands of Solomon. 1 Kings 1, verse 50, and chapter 2, verse 28. All burnt offerings of the sanctuary were burned upon the brazen altar. The fire was kindled by the Lord himself and kept burning continually. It was never to go out. Leviticus 6, verse 13. The fire which destroys all sin from the earth, like the fire on the brazen altar, will come down from God out of heaven and will not be quenched as long as there is any sin to be consumed. Revelation 20, verse 9. The entire body of the whole burnt offering and portions of various offerings were burned upon this brazen altar. It consumed that which typified sin, and as the fires were continually burning, it has been called the altar of continual atonement. Sin separates man from God. Isaiah 59, verse 2. And all sin must be put away before the sinner can be at one ment with God. Therefore, the work done upon this altar was a symbol of the final destruction of sin, which will be necessary before the redeemed can enjoy their eternal inheritance. Paul referred to this altar as a type of Christ. Hebrews 13, verse 10. All the work connected with the altar of burnt offering typified the work connected with the destruction of sin, a work which Christ alone can do. The Father has delivered into the hands of his Son the final destruction of sin and sinners. Psalm chapter 2, verses 7 to 9.